This week's hymn fill-in series, we're actually going to be taking a little bit of a different rhythmic style. We're looking at the hymn, What a Day That Will Be. And I like to classify this hymn when I'm teaching it as a gospel shuffle. It will have a swing to it. If you're looking at the hymn, you'll see a lot of eighth notes. We're actually going to play those eighth notes with a swing rhythm. So it's going to feel like this. So you're going to feel kind of that swing. If you're not familiar with swing, swing is when we take eighth notes. That would typically be one and we're going to swing it. So we're going to play a long short. As opposed to. So when we start off, we have a pickup measure, and we talked about this in a previous. I'm going to do the 5 chord in my left hand with the 4, and right away I have a hold. Now with the gospel shuffle, you'll hear a lot of this. Downward arpeggiated chords that are very fast. It depends on what chord you want to play. I played an A flat 2 here. You can just play an A flat. When it comes to all of these half notes, you don't want to do this every time, right? If I did that the whole hymn, after a while that would not sound pleasing. It would get really monotonous. So that's going to be very sparingly. I'm going to try to do some other options as far as moving towards the next melody note. So it might be something like this. I like to play kind of a lick or a short little phrase where it kind of adds to the feel of it. In this style, we'll use a lot of 6 chords. So a 6 chord would be, here's my A flat chord. If I add the 6th note, which is F, that's an A flat 6. With that in mind, okay, I can take that chord and I can play that idea. Now, the lick that I'm going to teach you is you can play it really in any key, and it'd be great to practice it in any key. But here's my A flat chord. We start on the 5, then we play the 6, 1, 2, half step, 3. So if I was in the key of C, C chord, I play the 5 of that chord, 6, 1, 2, half step, 3. We could keep going in all different keys if we wanted to. Now I'm going to use that lick quite a bit. So in this first line here, we have, there is come. And I started that on the end of beat 2. So you have 1, 2, 3. So again, for that first line, stay on the 1 chord. If you look at this hymn book, this first whole line is the 1 chord. That gets really boring. And I'm even going to tweak it. Even in congregational playing, I will do this. And I know this is often a big, no, we don't do this in congregational playing, but I'm going to do this for What a Day That Will Be. Most of us sing it this way. And because the majority of people sing it this way, I'm going to go ahead and change it. So on There Is Coming, instead of playing an A flat chord, I'm going to play come, D flat. And that just adds a little bit of color there. A lot of times in this gospel style shuffle, we'll go back and forth between the 1 and the 4 just to create a little bit of variation. You'll see me do that quite a bit. So again, so right there, I'm doing using kind of a triplet feel because that's the style in which this music is in. And I'm not going to do a lot there. I could do something else. And build a scale chord, a simple one. We're going to the 4, so I'm going to go ahead and get on that 1-7 chord. And I'm going to build into it. You can use some arpeggios where we're holding 1 and it would go all the way to that will be. You would kind of span that out a little bit. So 1 and that will be, and my Jesus, I just want to see when I look His face, saved me by His grace. Some arpeggios in there. I can do some simple scale connectors to kind of build my way there. Put everything into context, kind of play through it one time, and just get an idea of all the different things that we can add.